Hey, this is Gerri Chambers, and today I'm going to let you look over my shoulder as I teach you how to use an autoresponder for intelligent email marketing. Now, the tools you need for this is you need a WordPress site set up with OptimizePress 2 loaded up, and I have also used AWeber for my email marketing program. Now, OptimizePress, the one we're using, is the plugin. So assuming you have WordPress, you have loaded up your OptimizePress plugin, which is fine, and you can also use the OptimizePress theme. It has either the theme or the plugin that you can use, and then assuming you've also applied for the AWeber account. Now, this is use of these tools as of November 2015. AWeber just did a pretty big change to their interface and the way they do their follow-up messages and broadcast in that. So this is as of that date, November 2015. They could do another update because they're going to get a lot of feedback from this, including some feedback from me. I don't love it, but we are going to work with it. So right now I am using two different browsers. I'm using Safari for my WordPress, and then I'm using Chrome for AWeber. And the reason is because AWeber does not play nice with Safari. It does not populate very well, and it drags. It takes some time. I have to constantly refresh. I've talked to AWeber about this, and they confirm that no, Safari is not the best browser to use. So I'm using Chrome, or you can use Firefox, but Safari is not the way to go on this. Also, we talked about OptimizePress 2. There's an OP1, OptimizePress 1. This is 2 that I'll be using. And so let's get started. So the first thing I want to just mention, I'm just going to mention a couple things you need to prepare to pay attention to and make sure you have covered, is that the list that you're going to be using these functions for is going to be right here. So your current list is the one you're going to be changing up or adding to. Now, in order to do a new list, and if you have a brand new AWeber, you won't have any of this up here. You won't have any stats or anything like that. You'll just have the scheduled broadcast, and I think all your stats will say 0. But you'll need to create a list. So what you'll have here is you'll have a create a list right here where the create a message is. But right now we can go to manage lists, and we're going to create a list. Again, you won't have all this, okay? I have a lot of lists, so you can kind of do this however you want to. As time goes on and you create these sales funnels and these lists to really target your market and keep your marketing proper for each person that is on your list, you'll grow your list. Okay, so you may have more than more than 1 or 2 or 3 lists. So this will apply each time you want to create a new list to segregate those people in whatever buyer journey they're on in your marketing plan. So let's just start by creating a list. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to do. And hopefully it's going to cooperate with how quickly it populates today. It is Saturday, so I think everyone's on the internet. But so just to go through the text box is your company name. Okay, so you want to make sure that that's correct. That's who you want to be, whether you have a DBA or LLC, or if you're a solopreneur and you want to use your name, so whatever that is, and then your website. And then it will automatically populate whatever address you used when you signed up for your account. So that'll be pulled in. And I think actually it's been so long now, but I think these two text boxes are also defaulted from your account information. So if you need to change that, do that. So check all this before you just run through here really quickly. Sender name, you can do a first or a second. And then your sender email. So this is the email that you are going to be sending from. Okay, now I usually change this. I won't change it right this second for these purposes. I'm going to go in and delete the list, but I'm going through this just for an example. So make sure all that information is proper. Now this right here, your list name, this is for your reference. Okay, so this may be, for instance, you may have lead generation prospects. Okay, and then down here you may not want to call it that because this is what your subscribers are going to see. So what I usually do is make it sound kind of cool, and you know, make it seem that they are part of a kind of an exclusive group. You know, I mean, they're giving you their email address, so now you can contact them. So, you know, in my case, I want to let them know that I appreciate that and they're part of a pretty nice group. So, you know, lead generation extreme or something like that. Okay, so I'm just using this as an example. You can come up with whatever you want to, and you can use up to 400 characters to do that. So anyway, you get the idea. This is all part of marketing. It's all those little details that matter. All right, now, if you've ever opted into a list, you understand that before the company can start sending you emails right away, they have to ask you to either confirm your email by clicking a link within a confirmation email, okay, or they ask you in another way. You have to double opt in, basically, is what this is called. This is per law. You have to do this to be safest, right? Now, a lot of people don't use this, and you can actually turn double opt-in off, but unless I am really sure these people know what they're getting, and I either know them or they're warm contacts, I will do a double opt-in. So just keep everything default on that as far as that goes, and I'll show you where that is hopefully here in a minute. So what they give you the choice to do, AWeber will let you choose a pre-approved, okay, which they say is recommended, and that's fine. They work. Confirm your request for information if you're sending them a freebie or something like that, or confirm your subscription if they're going to apply to your newsletter or whatever. So you can choose, of course, any of these 5 choices, and these name fix right here in the brackets right here will automatically populate from their opt-in. Okay, so when they opted in, if you've asked for their first name, it will automatically put their first name in the subject line for you. AWeber will populate that from that box. Okay, and again, we'll go over all that. So what I normally do is I'll request an approval for a custom subject line. I want them to know who it's coming from. In this case, I'm using one of my business names. Actually, it's a program name now, but so we'll do Paycheck to Prosperity. And we'll say confirm your request for the free report. How about that? From, okay. So hopefully they had just opted in, and I'll show you how to make sure they get back to their email box after opting in to confirm this so that they can get the information. Okay, so I'll show you how to send them to a page that'll give them instruction, which is pretty essential, I think. A lot of people that have not been on the internet opting in and doing this kind of thing are not going to be familiar with what they need to look for. Okay, they may not understand the process. So confirm your request for the free report from Paycheck to Prosperity. I think that's pretty good. And they tell the people who you are. So they give you, you know, some recommendations for your line, tell them why they received this email, and then tell them what they need to do, right? So here's like one of their samples. So I kind of modeled it after that. Again, you can insert like on the one that was or the template that they gave you, you can add in information. All right, now I'm not going to get into ad tracking today, but you can pull in any of this information into the subject line. I don't think there's a need to at this point. There's plenty of other things you're going to spend time on, really, you know, tweaking and getting awesome. And 2 places on the message body that is going to be sent to them. Now they're going to click this link, right, to confirm, and then from there they'll automatically receive your first follow-up email, which is going to be one of our next few steps. Now it will pull in automatically your list name. That's the one that you see. Okay, I don't like that. That doesn't make any sense to me. What I want to do is put my business name again. All right, so I'm going to say confirm that you'd like to receive the email from me, the business, right? Paycheck to Prosperity, or your name, or whatever you put. in those previous screenshots that we looked at. You want to stay extremely consistent because you don't want people thinking you're trying to scam them or spam them or whatever. So you want to keep it really consistent. And then down here, if you want to change this up, thank you, support desk or administration or whatever you can. I keep it personal by just keeping my name there. Okay, again, you want to just remain consistent, and really this probably doesn't matter as much as long as your business name is okay. So just, you know, I just check it. Anything that populates for me, I like to double check. So now we have our lead generation prospect list. Okay, now everything we do on these menus right here, which we're going to go through a few of these menus, is going to be for this list. Now the reason I make such a big deal about that is because if you changed it to another list, if you have several, now what you do is going to be for this list, right? So you want to make sure you're doing it for the right list. You really don't want to do all this work and then find out that it's not exactly what you wanted to do. Because it's pretty monotonous, but you do it one time and it's pretty much set, and it is extremely valuable. It's amazing value to add these autoresponders up. So okay, so you just created your list, and now we're going to create your first message. Now, I use drag and drop email builder. You can do a plain text message, you can do all this coding and stick the raw HTML in there and all that if you want to do that. But if you just have AWeber, and then we talked about having your WordPress and the OptimizePress, if you're just working with just the simple basic tools, drag and drop just builds it for you, right? So click that. Okay, and see, it takes a little bit with Chrome. That's really why I don't like using Chrome. It seems like it's a lot slower than my Safari. So we're gonna have to wait a couple seconds in between clicks, but that's okay. So this is our subject line. They have already received the confirmation message. They've clicked the link and they've said, yep, I want to get that information or that free report, or I want to confirm my subscription so I can start receiving that newsletter, whatever it is. Your very first email to them from your company needs to be what they opted in for. It needs to designate or show that you're giving them the information they opted in for. Okay, they trusted you, they gave you their email address and their name and potentially their phone number or other information. Now you need to give them what they asked for. So whatever that is. There's other ways to do it. But I'm using the first follow-up email to deliver that, okay? Again, there's other emails with other ways to do it. You can redirect right to the product and that, but this gets them to confirm their email first before they get the goodies. All right, so now you're making sure that you have them on your list and they're confirmed, and you can send them emails now freely. They've said, yes, I want it. So let's say, here's your lead generation freebie, or whatever, free report. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about content. This is not a content marketing how-to or anything like that, but I do want to just make a couple little comments. And you can actually look at some of the internet marketers and how they construct their emails. AWeber actually also has some really good posts. You can go under their help and you can search for the Followup Series email content. I think even that's specific, and they'll give you a few little tips in here. But you want to say thank you for your request for information. If you'll click here, you can grab your report now. I'd also like to share with you that. Now, what I like to do is give them a little teaser. Okay, now your report may be good enough, but I like to kind of let them know what's coming up. I also wanted to share with you that I have a webinar planned in the next few days, and it will show you how to increase traffic to your website using only Twitter. And not only increase traffic, not only increase traffic to your website, but turn those visitors into clients using only Twitter, and you can bold it or whatever, right? I think it's really good, and I honestly love it when somebody can just show me one thing, right? So you want it to seem simplistic for now. You can get in depth with them, but you need to kind of feel them out because you really don't know where they're at. You don't know if they're just getting this quick report just because they, need to add another 100 people to their like page or whatever it is. So you need to find out a little bit about their goals, and that's where the list automation comes in, and it's going to really help you. I don't want to use the word segment because you can actually do list segmenting in AWeber, so that's not exactly what I'm talking about, although I'm going to show you that as a bonus. But this is actually automation rules, which will unsubscribe them from one list when they subscribe to another. So that'll be one of our last steps. Now you want to go ahead and put in your link. So this should take them to another page within your website that you've set up with the freebie, whatever that is, report or whatever. Sometimes it gets weird. I think it auto saves. You can tell your little auto saves down here. This small box, auto save twice. I think when it does that, it kind of gets you out of this type mode. Anyway, click in there again, highlight where you want people to click, and then put in your URL. And it will automatically check that URL for you, make sure it's legit. I'm just going to use my home page right now because I did not set up a page for a freebie. I have several set up, but not for this particular report. So we're just going to use this one for right now, just to go through the logistics. Now, another thing you can do is add several words, several different ways for people to see where to click, but using the same URL. You want them to still go for the freebie, and the freebie doesn't matter so much because that's really what got them there. So chances are they're going to grab the freebie even if you only have one link here. But I'm going to give you just a couple little tips that we'll do more in our next couple follow-ups, and that is adding a couple more clicks. Okay, so put to start driving those leads to your page now. Go quick. Or something like that. Okay, so you want maybe a little urgency. So let's put driving those leads. All right, let's use a link for that. So you see what I mean when I say several different I have trouble with prosperity every time. So you want to say something different to catch their attention. Maybe they didn't see the here. Maybe they're kind of interested in this one right here. So put it again down here. So to start, and you may want to say, so to start driving those leads to your page now, go quick. Okay. And then to your success. All right. Now, just a couple things. One is if you save, you can stay here and type some more. It auto saves for you after 2 minutes, so that's sufficient for me. But if you want to save it, if you're going to walk away or something and you want to make sure it saves right before you walk away, go ahead and hit save. Now, really quickly, templates. Let me just copy this really quick just in case. Just one other thing too is do not count on AWeber to be perfect. Don't count on your browser, your internet to be perfect. I would suggest as you are doing these follow-up messages to have them either drafted on Word and filed in your hard drive, or to, when you're done, copy and paste it into a Word doc, but have it someplace else besides just here, because you never know when your computer's going to shut down or AWeber hangs up, and several times I've had to refresh it, and what I did was gone, even if it auto saves. Okay, so just don't trust anything. You need to have that verbiage saved someplace else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play with the templates really quick just to show you. And before we do that, let me just show you the personalize. Again, this is another area where you can personalize who you're sending it to. So if you want to pull in the full name, if you've asked for the full name, there's actually text boxes that will say first name, last name, okay? So that will put their full name in there. This will just use their first, their last, etc., right? So you can personalize that subject line. And I do that every once in a while. And it'll personalize it wherever you put your cursor. Let's say we say personalize their first name. And I do that quite a bit. So personalize with their first name. So it'll say, Gerri, here's your lead generation free report. All right, now we're going to play around with templates. I have tested both, and I have also not seen any research or proof that using a pretty, graphicked up, colorful, all this kind of thing, I have not seen that this converts better in any other way than just doing the plain Jane, what I call plain Jane white. Okay, so you are welcome to make it look pretty. All right, and it's all part of your branding and your marketing and who you are and what you stand for and what kind of attitude and all this that you want to portray. So this is totally a personal decision on how you want your, whether it's a newsletter or your marketing emails or your sales emails or whatever you're trying to accomplish. It is completely up to you whether or not you use something like this. You know, a lot of people want to use it for, you know, here comes Halloween, right? So they want to use this one for Halloween. Totally fine. I don't think you're going to experience any better conversions from either one. But I would just encourage you to test them if you'd like. I've tested both of them. And I don't get one way or another better conversions. And when I say conversions, I mean clicks within the email. Okay, so that's what you want. You want people to click, right? And this is called your call to action. Just a little bit of terminology. Your call to action is something you want people to do, and it should be in every email. There should be a purpose for every email that leads to a call to action. You want people to click. You want them to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested. You want a yes, I'm interested, or you want a yes, I'm ready to buy in every email, okay? It'll be rare that you don't have one. So pick one of these or don't, okay? And then right here, check keep my message content. In my experience, this does not always keep your message content. If I want to change it to, let's say, the spooky right now, I cannot guarantee you that it will keep my message content. But, so you can go ahead and click that, and it will take this verbiage, and it will put it in kind of whatever place it fits, right? It may put it up in the sample headline, right in the sample headline area or whatever. So if you're going to use one of these, I would suggest grabbing it first. It just works the best that way. And then if you want to save it, you can do the same thing. You go into templates. Let's say you use the spooky. You've typed all your stuff in. You love it, and you want to use spooky for the next couple weeks leading up to Halloween. Then you click My Templates, and it will allow you to save it. Okay. Name your template right up here, and save as template. So this would be your lead generation Halloween. Okay. Save as template. All right, so we're done here. Again, I just use plain Jane. I don't have time. I don't have time to make it look beautiful, sorry. Just another thing too, you can play with all these as well. These are fun. You can put in headlines. You can make the paragraphs look nice. I have not used all of these. You can build your own article look in here. You just click it and drag it and drop it. You can throw some images in there. You link it to a URL, put videos in there. Again, URL. So if you have Wistia, I think you can also put in your WordPress URL if you have some media stored up that you want to put in these. But you cannot, as far as I know, take a file directly and put it in here. You can't put an MP4 in there. And I do not think you can also, you may be able to put a JPEG in there. And I did that for a while. So it'll have a little box over here, your edit box over here. Yeah, it needs a URL or image gallery. Okay, so it looks like you can upload as well. But I do not think you can do that with video. Right, so you just can use the video URL. And there's your delete. If you want to, copy and paste it someplace else or move it, you can move this, and it has quite a bit of functionality. Again, there's your social buttons. You can add a button with a link. If you want to add buttons instead of those, just linking those words, that's another choice you can make. You have coupons, your logo. your signature line and things like that. So there's a lot of fun toys you can play with. You can go on and spend hours on this. This is what mine looked like. So if you get one from me, that's what mine looks like. Gets the point across. So I'm going to save and exit now. Now what it does is it puts it in a place now called drafts. It used to not be this way, so AWeber's kind of changed this up. I have mixed feelings about it, like I told y'all before. But it goes into a folder called drafts, and when you pull down your messages, you'll see the drafts right here. We're also going to talk about next about your follow-up series and your broadcasts. So here is your lead generation free report. Kind of glance over here and make sure everything looks good. Now, before I send it, what should you do before you send it to all your people? You want to send a test, right? You want to make sure it looks good from the other side. And what I do is I just send it to myself. Now, sometimes I'll send it to someone else. I will, when I have someone to help me with content and editing and that kind of thing, I will send it to that person and let them check it out. Now, I didn't open up my email because I don't need emails coming in while I'm recording this, so just know that you will get that email sent to you. You want to look it over because you're going to see it like someone else will. Okay, you want to make sure it looks really good. If you're happy with it and everything's good, then you'll be ready to now add it to your follow-up series. If you're not good with it, hit your edit button and you can get back in there and start editing it, okay? And just this is kind of what it looks like. So when it's sent to you, it'll have your first name here, and then it'll have your contact info down there. Allow them to unsubscribe with one button or change their subscriber options. So now we're going to go ahead and add it to, let's make sure I covered everything. You insert your links, a little bit of the content of the email, test your email, and now we're going to take that draft right here, and we're going to add it to our follow-up series. And this is really the whole point. This is automating your email marketing, okay? And this is extremely important when you have several things going on and you want to get your list, but you don't want to manually have to communicate with that list all the time. This is automating the follow-up series. And as I take you through this, you'll see how valuable this is and that it saves so much time. Again, you set it up one time and then you just let it run on automatic. You make, tweak here and there as things may change for you, but for the most part, you're welcoming your people, you're giving them the free report, and then you're sending them another couple of things to send them through your sales funnel to get them ultimately to buy your product or service. So let's take this and add it to the follow-up series. Now, it's going to ask you if you want to track links on the website. It'll default to yes, yes, definitely. And it just tells you that this is the message that subscribers will get immediately after signing up. Actually, it's immediately after confirming that email, right? They have to confirm that email before they get this. And I'll show you how to make sure they do that. And so let's add it to the follow-up. Now, if you were to do this in Safari, it would sit on that page forever. So just don't even try it. Okay, so now you're in your follow-up series dashboard. And now it shows that your email is right here. You can send another test. You can delete it from here. You can get it back into a copy, okay, mind you, a copy back into your drafts. And you can change some of the settings, which it already took you through, so you can play around with that if you want to. It says this is the one that is going to be sent immediately. Now this spam score right here, just another little tip, if you want to use a link shortener, such as tinyurl or bit.ly, because you want to track clicks on the link with that program instead of just tracking it within AWeber, which they do track it, and I'll show you the analytics, this spam score goes up, I've noticed. So the more bit.ly links you have within your email, the higher your spam score. Now, I have not done a lot of research on this, but I think what happens is when you, and I know some of you are already answering this question for me, I think it's a possibility that your email would end up in trash or end up in spam box or wherever your recipient's email goes when it looks spammy. So make sure your score's, down as much as possible so that you're not missing people, okay? So I just use regular old links inside the hyperlink, and I don't use bit.lys on this. Unless there's one time I'll use bit.ly, and that's if I have two CTAs in there. If I'm sending them to two different places, I will use bit.lys for those only because I want to know which ones are getting the clicks, okay, or the most clicks if I'm testing CTAs. There's other ways to do it that are more that are cleaner, but that's kind of the way I like to do it. So now we're not done yet because we want at least 3 follow-up emails, and the reason is because studies have shown that people need to see something at least 3 times, and they actually say sometimes within a 24-hour period before they're ready to buy from you. So it's 3 times within a 24-hour period. We're not going to land blast them like that. I say 3 every 24 hours, or 1 every 24 hours for a total of 3. Okay, so let's just do it that way. So you're going to set up 3 here, okay, because that's what the statistics say, and I don't try to reinvent the wheel or try to figure out my own thing a lot of times. If there's studies and research and statistics and, you know, data that gives me closure and gives me the information right there, I'm going to go ahead and follow it. So, all right, so we're going to go drop and drag email again, email builder. Now this time you're going to use a little bit of thought, and you may want to have this already figured out on paper before you start building this. But sometimes, a lot of times when I'm throwing a funnel together, I will do this as I go along because I know now where I ultimately want them to go. And you may have kind of your a feel for what you want to do. You want to give them a freebie first, okay? You want to establish authority, show them you know what they're talking about, and give them something that they need, okay? Obviously they need it or they wouldn't have opted in. Now they have it. Whether they read it or not, you gave them something to show that you have valuable information. Now next, you may want to further your authority and your assistance for them because you want to show them that you know what you're talking about and you want to help them, okay? I mean, hopefully, ultimately, your goal is to help people with whatever product or service you're offering. And then the third follow-up may be, your call to action may actually be to send them to something that is paid. Along the lines of that, you're going to be unsubscribing people from this list and subscribing them to another as they take those calls to action. Okay, so we'll put this all together in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to take them to a little more information. We're going to say, check out the video that explains. Check out the video. And I didn't have all this written down, so I kind of think of this stuff on the fly. And you can go back and tweak it. You'll have to do it in drafts, though. You cannot tweak it once it's in the follow-up series. So you may want to keep everything in drafts till the very end. But I wanted to walk you through that. So let's say I have a quick video revealing why you're losing possible sales. Now this is a little long, okay, and I probably would not personalize this one because it's long and you can find a shorter way to say this. So I've covered a couple things in this subject line. I've said quick in video, and then some urgency, why you're losing possible sales. I want to tell people what they're doing wrong that's turning people away, okay? Because we want to help people get sales. I do. That's my service and product. So whatever your product or service is, you may need to give them one more piece of information that tells them why it's so important they have whatever product from you. So let's do that in this one. And this, you know, there's a difference between a really short email and a long email. All right, I do both. Sometimes I'll just throw out like 3, 4, 5 sentences, and the next, you know, sometimes if I want to offer value within the email and then a CTA at the very end, then I will make a longer one. So just for time purposes, so we can move this along, I'm going to do short ones. I'm going to go through the hyperlinks again and show you the CTAs and how that will interact with your automation rules. So hey, I want to share with you some tips to retain and gain. Retain current clients and gain new clients by following these Okay, it just auto-saved. By following these 3 steps, let's say, so I'm going to give them a 3-step video where I'm going to, I may do a PowerPoint presentation or something like that. Now at the end of the PowerPoint presentation that I will be sending them to, I will send them to a call to action that says whatever that is, right? So you're going to have calls to action on everything. And at that point, I may want to put them on another list because now they've gone to the video, and I probably wouldn't change lists at this point because I'm still, and I may want to since this is a little bit of a different subject. It's still not lead generation. So now I'm kind of using a different subject. So if you're using a different subject and it's showing now people are worried about losing sales, you may want to call this increased sales or client loss or client retention or something like that. So hey, I want to share with you, are you getting all the sales you want? So I'm kind of going, okay, you're losing possible sales, and the question is, are you getting all the sales you want? Well, of course, the answer is no for most people, right? So you don't want to ask them a question that they may say, well, yeah, I'm totally good. And then, hey, I want to share with you some tips. I want to share with you some tips to retain current clients and gain new clients by following these 3 steps. You may be surprised. At how easy it is to implement. Check it out. And I'll do the here, and always do the here in caps. You know, you have to go with your own style and what you think is makes sense. Now, since this is a short one, I'll go ahead and I'm just going to do 1 CTA. Okay. And again, I would put a link in there. I'm kind of running out of links. You understand the link process. And we'll go ahead and save and exit. And I would put to your success, Gerri. So you want kind of the same salutation. Again, we want to send a test first. Send a test email. And then we're going to add it to the follow-up series. Now, I pretend I've done all that. Okay, I sent a test, looks good. I'm happy with it. Now, this is your second follow-up email. So now it wants to know, okay, after your person receives that first immediate email, how many days do you want to wait before I send this next one? Well, 1 day is 24 hours, right? So typically you want to send it the very next day. These are new people. You want to keep them on fire. Again, you want 3, bam, 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 right in a row. So let's just keep this 1 day after. And any day, any time. The only reason you want to change this is if you know your people check their mail at lunch. Okay, they all work and they go in at lunch and they check their emails. Maybe you want to say send it at lunchtime. I usually keep this the same, although you can definitely play around with your market. My market's all over the board. They're stay at home, they're solopreneurs, they're workers, they're all over, so I do any day, any time. You can definitely get very targeted with this. There's a website you can go to. It's called Twiriod. If you're on Twitter and you have a substantial following, it's TWEERIOD.com, Twiriod, and it will sync with your Twitter account and tell you the best times to send out information to your list, okay, to your followers rather. So the people that are following you, it will check them out, check out their activity, and it'll tell you, oh yeah, they're on around, you know, such and such time. Now that's for Twitter. And I'll show you how to link Twitter up with this as well. Okay, now I'm going to do 2. Again, normally you would do 3, but I'm going to do 2. One nice feature here is that if you say, oh, you know what, I think I should send this one first, you can drag and drop if you need to, okay? So that's kind of nice. And it shows a send immediately. And then you'd have to change your settings on this one to say send 1 day after your previous one. You can definitely send them 2 times. You can send 2 in 1 day. You can set it up to do that, as we saw. Let's say we send this one immediately, and then we go into our settings, and we say we want to send this one in the evening time. And maybe the other one, you know, we send, let's try 1 day. Well, no, it'd be 0 days now, right? Okay, so we're going to send it the same day, but we're going to change the time and do it like a late night or something. Maybe they'll have it in their box first thing in the morning. Okay. And that's what this will look like. I'll show you. So it'll say send shortly after the previous message. All right. Now, so we've now sent, we created our drafts, we sent it into our follow-up series. Against follow-up series, every once in a while, check up here. Yep, lead generation prospects, we're good. Now, just a couple other little things I want to say. I feel like I need to cover everything because I don't want to just, send you loose. Here I'm teaching this, and I want to make sure you have a little bit of strategy behind this and you understand why we're doing what we're doing. Probably the most important thing is going to be your calls to action. You want to lead people ultimately to buy, right? So you need to make sure that you know where you're sending people. Are you sending people to your coaching class? Are you sending people to a paid webinar? Are you sending people to a membership class, or not a membership class, but a membership or a subscription, and there's several things, whatever your end goal is for these people coming in on this list, okay? I mean, ultimately, maybe I would want to consult with these people. So ultimately, I teach them all of these things right here, and I'm giving them some great content, some great info, some value, and then at the end of that, they go, that is all awesome stuff, and it got me started, but maybe I want to take that next step with you. So that's what my third one would be. Do you have all this information and still need more? Now, that is not the verbiage I would use, but that's the point of doing the third one, right? Is ultimately, since my goal is to consult with these people on how to make sure they are getting qualified leads to their page or their list, I would make sure that that was my third CTA. You can also, in this second one, like we talked about, when you have your webinar, let's say you send them to a video, let's say you send them to just a video. At the end of that video, through the video, you would kind of make your case for why this is important. At the end of that video, you would say, I know there's a lot of information, and it's hard to do it alone, but I'm definitely here to counsel with you. I will give you, whatever you want to offer them, a free 30-minute analysis of your sales funnel, or, 30-minute analysis of your page, or an over my shoulder for an hour for $350, or whatever it is that you want to call to action at the end of the video, okay? You want to get them off of this list now, if they take it, right? If they say, yep, I want that, well, you don't need to send them to lead generation prospect. You don't need to send them this third email, right? Because they're buying now, or they're going to that next step. So you may not need to send them that third one. So you want to take them off this list and get them on another. Keep that in mind as we continue the next two steps, and then that'll be our third step, okay? So another thing you may want to do is, I'm going to go ahead and copy this back to drafts, okay? And then I'll make sure you've copied it back to drafts so we can work on something else. Now you've gotten your follow-up series created. Now, instead of sending, and you're going to create this message, okay? So you've created what we call a broadcast. A broadcast is something you want to send out spur of the moment, or you may have a total plan for this. You may plan this all along that you're going to shoot something to your list at a particular time that was not included in your follow-up series. Okay, your follow-up series is automatic. This one right here, you can create an email, create a message, and you can either send it immediately or you can schedule it out. Again, this is apart from your follow-up. So let's say we want to take this one. Let's say we constructed this new email and we want to schedule a broadcast. And there's a little bit of functionality you'll want to kind of go through and figure out what you want to do with this. And this is how we talked about Twitter. The reason it's important to know when your Twitter people are on and why you would use Twiriad is so you make sure that they see this broadcast, and it'll be a link back to, it'll be an AWeber link that will send them to this email. You want to know when they're online and when they're going to see it in their feed, or at least what the best chances are. So let's say we want to share this not only to our list, not only our lead generation prospect list, but we want to share it on Facebook and on Twitter. Okay, so you can go ahead and choose both of those, and you'll need to connect those. And then you apply that, okay? And then, let's say we want to send it to another couple people. Let's say I'm offering this great new product, or I'm doing a joint venture with someone, or I have a new affiliate tool that I want to share with people. Whatever it is, it's on the spur of the moment, and it may apply to all these lists, or it may apply to 3 or 4 more lists, right? You can go through here and you can include some more lists. okay, as you build your lists, okay? And you can also, you know, it's not going to automatically go here, so you don't need to exclude, but it's automatically going to do that. And I'll show you how to do segments here in a minute. You can actually do a segment right now. So let's say these people in the last 7 days, let's say these are the people that are new. Or maybe you just your people added today. Maybe you did a big campaign and you have 30 people that were added to your list today and you want to keep it hot and you want to send it to these people that subscribe today. Okay, so you click that as well. I'll show you where to segment in a minute. All right, now you cancel that. And then when should it be sent so you can schedule it out. There's a broadcast. This is not your follow-up series. This is manual. You're doing this manually. So our send time, let's say we send it at, you know, 8 a.m. 8 a.m. in the morning on Saturday. Yeah, that'd be great. That's not a good time for anyone, I don't think. Let's say noon. Let's say about 12:25, okay? And then we'll send it at Central Time, and then there's your scheduled time right there, and you can apply it. It will not send until that time. All right, or you can go ahead and send it immediately and just leave this as is. Okay, and then you can send the message now. Or, you know, if you scheduled it out, you would still push this, but it wouldn't send until that scheduled time. So that's how you send a broadcast. And that's important when you want to get something out really quickly. If you're excited about something, you want to get it to your list, you can send it out immediately. I'm not going to go through the blog broadcast and email template, but those three are really important. I'll use those all the time. So make sure I've gotten through everything I want to. You can see your subscribers here. You can add them manually. And let's go ahead and you've got your reports and your analytics here. This is really good. Let me just see really quickly. I won't have any stats for this page. Let me go to another. We'll just look at some stats here so you can see what they look like. These are my two most recent. I actually messed up. I only sent it to one subscriber here, so I hope they opened it. But this is, it'll show you your stats on your recently sent broadcast. Now, you'll want to look at these. You want at least between, and this was not a really good one for me, but you'll want around a 20 to 30% open rate. And a really good one is, you know, to hang around 30%. Now I have about a 25 on average, 25% open rate for my broadcasts. But you want to watch your stats. If you're not getting good open rates, you need to work on your subject line. If you're getting complaints, AWeber tells you how to minimize those complaints. And you actually click on this right here. I think it'll say how to keep my complaints low. And I've gotten one or two here and there. So. And then your bounce, these are going to be people that, you know, didn't put in a correct email address, or they changed email addresses or something, or I don't know exactly everything that happens right here, but and now this, not only is your open rate very important, but this is very important too. And you want around a 6% click rate. Okay, now that's basically your conversions. Okay, if you get a 6% click rate, you're right on time. I didn't have any CTAs in here, that's why it's pretty annoying. I just had them reply back to me. So this isn't because they didn't click. I get anywhere between a 3 to a 7% click rate. So, but it's taken me a long time to get there because I need to know how to speak to my different lists. So if you do get clicks on here, you're doing really good. That means you've intrigued them and they raised their hand, right? And they've said, yes, I want that information. So once they've done that and they've clicked, you send them. Now here's just, I'm gonna give you a little foretaste into the automation rules. You're going to send them to another opt-in. Okay, you're going to need them to opt in again, and it should not be a problem with people that are already on your list. But what you're going to do is set your rules to say, okay, this person opted in on a different subject. They're on this list now. I want them off of whatever list they were on. That's what the automation rule tells you. Extremely helpful. I think I'm going to go ahead and go over to WordPress now, because this is the order you'll do this in. You can go ahead and set up your list options now. Let's go ahead and do that. We're here. So you'll go to List Options, List Automation. And this is really going to help you get hyper-focused on your marketing. Now again, there's a few things you need to do in order to do this. You need to make sure they opt in on another opt-in box. Okay, so they're going to need to put their email and their name in. Again, which, like I said, should not be a problem for people that are already on your list. And that opt-in box needs to be connected to another list. I'm going to show you in OptimizePress how to do that. So let's do this first. So let's say, now look, I didn't change my list back, right? So I'm working on this list. We need to go back to our lead generation prospects list. So we're going to create a new rule that says, I want to unsubscribe this person or these people from lead generation prospects list when they subscribe to what? You haven't made it yet, but I'm going to go through this anyway. We want to unsubscribe. Oops, let me click it. Okay, unsubscribe from this list, lead generation prospects, when they subscribe to, let's say, first communication. This is what I send people to when they have their first consult call with me. The first communication. And then you save that automation rule. Okay, so now when you send those people to this call to action, which will be to another landing page with another, so for me it's my consultation page, they're going to sign up for consultation, and I'm going to take them off this lead generation prospects list now, and now they're on my first communication. It's awesome. It's very powerful. So now you're going to talk to these people totally different, right? Okay, so we're done there. Now, this is all going to come together here. So what we're going to do now with OptimizePress, the beautiful thing about this plugin is that it has already all the templates you need. You do not need to fully come up with anything from scratch. They've got the templates ready to go. It's powerful. It's awesome. Okay, so we're going to go to Page Builder. First of all, before we do that, you cannot even integrate AWeber until you go to your OptimizePress dashboard. So this is going to be your first step. You have to tell OptimizePress to send those names to AWeber. So go to Email Marketing Services right here on the left-hand side. I'm going to open up AWeber. Now, keep in mind I've already done this. There's going to be a little button here that says Connect. Okay, here's one that I haven't connected yet. Let's go to Get Response. They're a little bit different. Go to Webinar. Nope, a little different. You know what? You may have to put in an API key. I thought this was really simple. I thought it was just, see, like this one right here is Enable. Okay, so some of these are one click, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember if this just says Connect or if it has you, and it'll go through the process for you. It's an automated process, okay? Or if you need to manually go get an API from AWeber. In order to do that, and I've done it before, because there's other ways you can put opt-in boxes. You can use HTML on your pages to put opt-in boxes on. But what I've done to get my API is become a developer with AWeber. You need to show that you're developing your own website and you need an API for a reason. So they'll walk you through that process. You go over to AWeber, get API. Actually, I think you can put in integrate with OptimizePress, need API or something like that in their help box, and they'll get you the API. They'll walk you through how to become a developer. It's a couple clicks. It's really, again, it's a little monotonous, but you do it and you're done. So I'm connected here already, so I can't go through that entire process. But let's go back to Page Builder. Okay, so we're going to figure out a name, and what I usually do is, since this is my landing page and it's only for one purpose, I name it the same thing as my list. Okay, which I hope that makes sense. Now, you're only checking availability, I think, within your own WordPress site. Sometimes when you have a bazillion pages, you could accidentally name something the same thing. So I need to remember to show you my check your email. I'm writing that down. Check your email page that I created. All right, now you're going to use a content template. All right, we're not going to do a blank page and build our own thing. This beautiful content template. And you can search beautiful templates for days. Okay, so we're going to go down here to opt-in pages. And the cool thing is that they already have they call them, the word escapes me, but the areas right here that you need, like here's a video, right? Upload a video here, you upload a video here. You can click these and make them anything. You can make them video ready or text ready or whatever, but it already has this all built in, so it's really great. If you're giving away a PDF or an ebook, it's already done. So this is I'm usually giving away some kind of book. Now this one has space for a testimony. So you can, if you have testimony that you want to throw on there on your page, then you would do that with the PDF right here. Again, this is a PDF. I've used this one as well. Very simple, very clean. Also, I think this is actually the book cover right here, but it's not 3D. It's flat. You can put whatever image you want to in there, though. And you can go to Fiverr to get your graphics made very cheap. That's Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. You can find any job or little gig on there and pay $5 for it. So if you have the title to your ebook and you want someone to create a graphic like this for you that you can stick on your page, you can go on Fiverr, give them the info they need, look up ebook graphic or ebook cover graphic or whatever, and they'll make that for you. Pretty good turnaround time for most of them. All right, so I'm going to check this one just because I like it. This is a good one too. Okay, doesn't have a picture of anything, but it's really clean. Again, there's more. There's sales pages. Buy my ebook here. Yay, I'm a writer. Buy my ebook. They got webinar pages. Opt in here for the webinar. Okay, proceed to step 2 because we chose our landing page now. All right, here we go now. So I'm not going to do the content on landing page, no way. You don't need to watch me fumble through that. This is something you're really going to have to think out and do some studying on what is going to attract your ideal client. And there is a lot of research that you can do. You can create your buyer persona. You can do some research on keywords, SEO, all this. You can look up in Google really quick. You can just go to the Google search bar and you can say, start typing in your thing, and Google automatically now starts to populate those things that are most commonly searched for, and you can do a quick, thing that way. I do that a lot. So you want to have a really good headline that makes sense, and then afterwards do your Yoast SEO and all that. So not only are you going to drive people right here, you want to get some organic traffic if you can as well. But this is not about that. This is about building your opt-in box. So see right here, you put your cool graphic that your Fiverr guy made or whatever. All right. Okay, click your pencil. Now, what we are going to do is look for our integration type. It's taking a second. Okay, so populated. So I'm going to go into our AWeber. Again, you need to make sure you have that info in the dashboard first before it'll even find this. And your provider list, you're going to find your list. Lead generation prospects. Okay, big deal here, your thank you page. And I did not grab the URL before I got into this, but I didn't need to. I will show you my page though. I'm not going to build this page right now. So thank you page URL is going to be what I told you earlier will prompt people to go look at their email. You want a little page that says, after they opt in and hit, send me my report, you want a page that says, hey, check your email real quick and click the confirmation link so that I can send you your stuff. Now, instead of sending them right to the stuff, because you never know if they're going to confirm that email, and then you'll have an unconfirmed subscriber or a non-subscriber actually on your list. You want to go ahead and take them to the email first, and then you have the link to the goodies in the email that you send them in your first follow-up. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Now they've got this other block right here that I actually don't use too much, but if they've already subscribed, it will tell them Okay, it'll look at your list and it'll say, oh, you've already subscribed. That rarely happens, but thank you page URL needs to be the email I'll show you in just a second. You can add some more fields here for them to fill out. Sometimes I'll put phone number. It's rare, but sometimes I do want their phone number as well. So you click add new, we call it, and I usually call it optional, because some people, that scares some people away and they won't, so don't make it required, right? But you want the other two required, email and name, obviously. And then the text that's going to show on the box will be phone number. And order, I still am kind of clueless about how or why this works, but it does, I guess, at some point. Okay, so I'm not going to hit insert yet. I'm going to go to my content button, and this, don't worry about this verbiage right here. I mean, you can delete it if you want to, but you already have your title up here, so you don't need more verbiage. So just take that off. Now, this right here has been shown to not get a lot of positive response. People don't, when they say that word, we would never spam you, they automatically think you're going to spam them. So it kind of has a reverse effect to it. So what I've done some research and listened to some people who have been doing this, split testing and all this forever. Period. That's it. Your information is 100% private and will not be shared. That's all they want to know. They don't need to see that word spam in there and think, well, I mean, are you a spammer? Okay, so get instant access if you took them to a webinar, but if you want to get that free report, I do a little custom button sometimes. And I'll say, and this is, you'll learn through this. You can come through all through here and change everything, color and everything. I'm just going to leave a big old yellow button because it's an eye catcher. And so your text would be, give me my report, or whatever. Okay, changes colors, interacts. I mean, you can get all graphic-y around here and everything. So I don't do all that. Okay, so let's insert that and see what it looks like. Those were 3 tabs we went through. So now you've got enter your email address, your first name, and phone number optional. Give me my report. Your information is 100% private. Will not be shared. Okay, and then you've got your headline, subheadline. I mean, you got everything up here. So you don't need more verbiage. This landing page needs to be quick and to the point, sweet and to the point, and it needs to be enticing too, right? Save and continue. Save and close rather. If you wanted to save it before you started working again, then go ahead and save and continue. I would again say do that often. But we're going to get out of here. We're done. And I'm going to show you my my check your email page. And you can copy it if you want to, because I copied it. All right. So I think this is actually a template in the other section of the OptimizePress 2 templates. And you'll just need to change some of the verbiage, okay? Look for the email from Page Extra Prosperity, personalize it. And then, thank you. Now, please check your email. As soon as they have clicked, yes, give me my report, it will take them there. So they can't get anything unless they go confirm their email. Now they're on your list and they're confirmed, and it's awesome, and everybody's happy. All right, so now we've done put opt-in form on your site or on your landing page. That was what we just did. And then we created the automation rules. Now what's important is, let me see if I've got this page built. I called it landing page. It was another sample I did for the blog. So on the landing page, let's say people get off of the lead generation prospect, and then they say, well, you know what, I'll just show you I'll just show you this one. So this is where I would send people. So, and I need to change it up a little bit, it's been a while, but so when people click my call to action, either after my video or within an email, and I take them here, and they're going to opt in again to chat with me, then I'm going to take them off that list. That's your rule. Okay, that's the rule you set up. Take them off the lead generation prospect, and now put them on my first communication list. And again, you can really speak to those people where they are. Otherwise, you really don't know where they are. I think I've covered everything. Just real quickly, if you want to look at the sign-up forms, you can create your own sign-up form if you want to grab some Java or HTML and put it on a page. If you like the way AWeber's looks, which they're kind of lame compared to the OptimizePress. Sorry, AWeber. I just really, really like the way the OptimizePress ones are. They're just it's robust. It's the whole landing page plus the opt-in box. It looks like it really fits there. If you do, now if you don't have a landing page and you have a subscribe button or something on your home page, you can use sign-up forms for that. But if you want it to really be to look really good together, OptimizePress 2 landing pages are the way to go. The sign-up forms here, you would create your first sign-up form. And you can look through all their templates. They have a lot of nice templates. And when I say lame, I mean lame in contrast to what OptimizePress has already done. So, choose from whatever one you want to put on your home page or whatever that is. That would work in that case. Name, email, you can edit these. You can edit the header as well. I'm not going to get into all these. You can play around with this all day long. You can change the button. You can create a new field. If you want to add phone number on this, you can add phone number. Whatever information you need to best market to your people. Okay, so there's your form. Now you save your form. Again, you can look at any template you want, all kinds of templates, corporate, go all over the place. And then go to step 2. You will want to change this, okay? So let's call this landing, let's call it home page. Subscribers. Okay, so you say you have a subscribe here on your home page, and that's where people sign up to get your newsletter. So that's your form name. That's for you to keep track of. I just always use basic versions. Okay, you get real fancy schmancy and all this. Open another window, the whole bit, but I don't do any of that. Okay, so I just keep it, name it, and get on out of there, and then go to step 3. And now here's your either your JavaScript or your HTML. So I usually use Java. Some places it's better to use HTML. Just depends. You're going to grab all that code, copy it, and go paste it wherever you want. In the case of OptimizePress, this is just a bonus. This is, this has nothing to do with your automation or anything like that. And I'm not even going to go through that. So when you go into your page, you can choose what pieces you want to put on your page. And that's going to be another post. But you can stick that HTML code wherever you want to on your page if you're using OptimizePress to build your website pages, which I highly recommend. I mean, especially if you have just, real simple stuff. Sales page. You can even do, about me pages, bio pages, contact us page, whatever you want. You can have a video page, all that. So if you're using the page builder in OptimizePress, you can just stick that HTML in the proper place. I think we're done here. Check your email page. I showed you that. This is, again, how to use an autoresponder for intelligent email marketing. This is a way to leverage your time. I'm a huge proponent of leveraging time and automation. It's just me. So I don't have 30 people working for me at any one, at any given time. There can be people working for me and with me. But on a continual basis, I want stuff automated. I want to know that that's running in the background, bringing people either to my landing page, signing them up, getting them on the right list, and I can leave it alone until I'm going to change my business plan or my product, or I have something else I want to throw in there. I'm done. Now I can work on the next leg of business or my next product. What's next is always what I ask myself. What's next? What am I going to do next? So this really helps free you up. And if you're not using it, you're wasting time. There's no excuse for anyone. It's just lack of, you just don't know what's out there. Now you know it's out there. You're held accountable. It's there. And if you can't do all this and you don't want to do all this, there's help out there to settle this up. And you can do it time after time after time. You saw how many lists I had. So, get to it. Thank y'all for listening.